Okay, so I have that set up. So as I'm showing you guys, this is what you're going to be doing. Let me just share it again. Over here. This is what you're going to be doing. This is what you're going to be designing today. It's just a small design for like a car rentals place or people who are trying to sell cars. But basically, once you know about this stuff, it's just easy to use. So here we have the logo over here. Then we have this particular part over here where we have the ULs and everything. Okay. I'm just going to grab that pen again. Then we have this part here. Okay, this is like the shopping cart and the search, and as you can see, they are displayed from left to right. So by this time, you should know when things are displayed from left to right, you should probably be using something like flex. Flex aligns items from left to right. Apart from that, we have this heading over here. Okay, we have it's not a heading, it's just like kind of the hero section. And then we have this text over here, and then we have this image, and then the image and the ULs over here, they're kind of displayed in a flex, in a flex. So they have that, and then you're going to finish off with this last part over here. Okay, so I'm just going to so that's what you're going to be doing today. It's not that complicated and it's not as huge as everything as before, like the whole Netflix thing. So I'm hoping that what you do today will go a long way in solidifying what you already know. Okay, so as you know, we always start from scratch. So I'm going to come to my desktop. I'm going to go to Web Fusion, the folder where I want to create my projects over here. And let me just admit her. Then all I have to do now, all I can do now is probably create a new folder over here and say something. You can call it whatever you want. It's your projects. So you can definitely call it what you want. So I'll say it's called I don't know, Insta or something. You give it a name that you want. Basically, this is where you're going to be storing your project. So the next thing, start a blank Visual Studio Code. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start my Visual Studio Code. Again, this is the IDE. What do I mean by IDE? It's the platform. It's the platform for which you're going to be coding. Okay, so that's what it means by IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Again, I need a new window. So I'll just start a new window over here. So once I have that, I can just minimize what I have here. This is my project over here called Car Insta. I'm going to take it and drag and just drop it there into my Visual Studio Code. So this is how it looks like, okay? So I'm just going to come over here and maybe increase my resolution so that you guys have a better view. I'm going to be taking it around to 25%. Hope that's bigger. So as obvious as we always do, we're going to start with two main files, which is index.html. Okay, you can call it whatever you want, but you have to finish with the .html, and then you're going to start to do styles.css. Okay, in the index.html, how to start up the whole markup thing is Visual Studio Code. You can, of course, type it out, but you can just type DOC and hit tab, okay? Or just do an exclamation tag, exclamation kind of mark, and then hit tab. I can just say DOC and hit tab, and then I have all that. Okay, so this is what you're going to be building today, and this is the title. It's called Car Insta, okay? So that's what I'm going to do over here. For the title, I'm going to call it Car Insta, okay? You can give it whatever title you want, okay? And then you know about meta tags, they just give more information about your site. For example, if I want to say I'm the owner of this site, I can say meta, should be in lowercase, so meta name is equals to author, okay? And maybe content, I can say my name, okay? So I can just close it out like that. So just give it meta tags like that, okay? So you're just starting out, guys. You're just laying out the basics, okay? Then over here, remember I said you have to link your CSS with your HTML. We can say over here, you can leave a comment and say, linking to my styles, okay? I have a typo over here, linking to my styles. And how do you link to your CSS? Just type link, hit tab, then dot slash, navigate to your styles.css, okay? It's just that simple, and immediately your CSS can communicate to your HTML. Awesome. So I'm just going to hide all that. So with that, I'm just going to come back and look at what you're going to be doing today. And as I said before, every time you're given a complicated kind of site to develop, you basically want to break it down, okay? We have the logo over here, we have the nav links, then we have all this stuff. You want to break it down and see what should go where, what should I start with first? Because if you just look at it like the whole picture, it's very easy to get overwhelmed, okay? So that's what you try to do. Again, give me like a minute. Gidi, atipini 15. Okay, so I hope you guys are with me. Are you able to send a pic of that design? Yes, I'll send a pic of that design. Yeah, this one. I'll send it. So so the next thing is probably now to start coding it out, okay? And as I said, you want to check out your design as different aspects, okay? So if I come back to if I try to draw this stuff again, uh we have this part over here, it's the top part. Then we have this kind of hero section where we have the Chevrolet kind of stuff, and like that we have the image and everything. So you want to look at stuff like that, okay? So you want to break it down. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to break down my site in my HTML before I start filling out the paragraphs and everything. So you don't have to code my way, but I really hope that you can see what I mean. So I'm just going to clear all drawings that we have a better picture of what you're doing. So how are you going to start? So the first thing you're going to do is probably break it down into sections, as I've said. So we have the header part, the one that says car, Insta, and everything. So I'm going to put off to just type and say header section. Okay. So every time I come back, I'll know which section I'm referring to. Okay. So over here, I'm going to say section, or you can just say div, but anyway, it's just ways to put things in container. Section header over there. And now I can check out what my header has. It has the logo, it has the nav links, and it has this part, okay? So that's what I'm going to do over here. So I'm going to say dot header, the logo parts, okay? That I'm going to have a logo in my header. I'm also going to have the navigation link. So I'm going to say header nav links, okay? So nav links. Or I should start with that dot over here, like that. Okay, just messed up everything. Okay, the class name is this. And I hope you guys remember what I mean by classes and IDs. They're just identifiers. Okay, so I have my nav links, okay? I have this part over here, and then I have this kind of shopping search place, okay? I just want to give it a meaningful name, so I'm going to give it something like dot header cart search, okay? You want to give them meaningful names before you start filling them out. Okay, once I have my header kind of mapped out like that, it's going to have the logo, it's going to have the nav links, it's going to have this search kind of stuff over here. Now I can start filling in the data. So For my logo, I know I have this kind of heading that looks like this. So that's what I'm going to put over here. So in my header kind of logo, I know I have a H1 and it's saying car. It's saying, or it's supposed to be uppercase, car hyphen Insta. That's my logo. So when I come over here, that's what I have. Then I see that in my nav links, I have these three kind of four elements over here. So that's why I'm going to come over here. Now, I hope you guys did the assignment I gave this week about a list, because that's what I'm going to use to kind of list down all of these paragraphs, okay? All of these elements over here, history, services, and shop. So that's what I'm going to use. So I really hope you did your assignments by doing things about lists. So if you didn't, it's okay. So what I'm going to do over here is create an ordered list, okay? An ordered list doesn't have like number one, number two, number three, just has like bullet points, okay? UL, an ordered list, okay? And for my first list item, it's going to have these cards, but then you see it has some sort of like a red spot over here. So we're going to have to be creative on that. You just can't list it out. You also have to take into account this particular element over here that is red, kind of red in color. So how am I going to do that? Okay, so I know in my list item, I have the car thing, okay? I have a paragraph that says cars. But then there's also kind of that div over here that is kind of red in color. So you have to be a bit creative on knowing how to put that over there. And I'm just going to give it a div of, and I'm going to give it an ID because it's the only one. It's special in this case, meaning it's just special. So I'm just going to have it like that. I can just put it on top of cars like that. Of course, you won't be able to see anything until we style it out. So after I have the cars, I can just list out the history and everything, okay? So over here, I'm going to add another list item and just call it history. And then you're going to have another one, call it services, okay? I'm going to have another one called shop, okay? I'm going to have those three, okay? So I'm going to have all of that stuff. So once that is done, I can now take care of these icons, okay? And as you can see, these are icons, okay? They are icons. So as I said before, especially last time, you have as a good developer, you should know how to get your resources. Like HTML doesn't just give you icons. You have to go out there and search for good icons to include in your site. So I remember last time I'm just going to hide this stuff. I gave an example of this site called Font Awesome CDN. Okay. So again, I don't know. I'm just going to go out there and tell you that this site will really save you a lot of time. Every website you're given by your project manager or your employer, it is going to involve some sort of icons. So if you don't know how to get good icons, you're not going to be competent enough. So this site will really save your time on that. So I'm going to click on the first link called Font Awesome, and I'm going to grab the connection link over here. I'm just going to click on this that says copy link tag over here, right? When I have that, I'm just going to come back to my code. And then over here, just going to say linking. It's good to leave comments so that you know what each kind of link is doing, okay? Linking to font awesome icons. So when I give a comment like that, I'm able to come back to my code and see, oh, at this point is where I linked my HTML. So I have that going for me. And once I have just I paste this link in my code, then this site and my HTML, they are connected. So if I come here to font awesome icons over here, I should be able to access all the icons I want. Okay, I should be able to access all the icons I need. So again, I'm just going to put them in lists because these are just like two elements kind of list. They're actually three. This kind of separator over here is going to be an element also, so don't forget about it. So they're just going to be three. So again, I'm just going to put them in list again. As I said, that's why I was saying that it's going to be very beneficial if you just went out there and did list. That's why I gave that assignment. So when you come over here, I'm just going to say another list like that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to have, okay, so the first thing I should have, I'm just going to see it again. I have, so the first item also has this kind of uh, like this part over here that says to, like another cat icon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably get into my list like that. I'm going to have my icon, which is a shopping bag, I guess, this shopping bag. I'm going to come over here and say bag. Yeah, I'm going to have this shopping bag over here. I'm going to click on it, then I'm going to copy its code like that. And then I'm going to come over here and just probably put it in a span or something and put it right there. Okay, but then I'm going to also to have a div with this kind of, I'm going to call it header uh stuff like that. Okay, so this is refers to this red stuff that says number two. Okay, so you just have to be creative. Other people just use paragraphs to kind of create that style. I use divs. Okay, and again, if you're going to be developing an e-commerce site, this step is mandatory at some point. So it's better just you understand what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to come back and then I'm going to have this list item over here. Okay. I'm going to share this code after this. So if you understand what I'm doing, what I'm doing right now, it's going to be so easy. So to have that separator over there, I'm just going to give it a paragraph and I'm going to say it's called header kind of divider. Yeah? It's not going to be a class. I'm just going to give it like, okay, it can be a class. Okay. It's just going to be a paragraph. And that paragraph is what this part over here. That's kind of that line over there. Okay. Again, I said it's like art. You have to do everything to perfection. That's why you should be a good designer when you're doing front end, I guess. So the next thing is this search kind of thing. So I'm just going to come back here. Actually, no, I should come back here and do search icon. I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy the code again over here. Okay. Once I copy it, I'm just going to come and paste it again over here, like that. So again, just like that, now we are done with the whole header. Okay. We are done with this whole part. We are done with the logo. We are done with all this stuff, and we are done with all this stuff. Okay. So maybe just to check out how our code looks like at this point. Of course, it looks a bit ugly, but you know what? I think we should just do the whole HTML, the whole markup. Then huko mwisho mwisho just deal with the CSS. Okay. I don't want to just kind of mix you up. So let's just do the whole markup. Okay. Let's just get the Chevrolet header and the whole images thing going. Then after that, then we can deal with the CSS. Okay, so having done that part, now we can take care of this part over here. So I'm going to come down under my section over here. So I'm going to move on to a new section. My new section is going to be called hero section, okay? Just a comment so that I know where I started. You need to give it meaningful names. I'm just going to call it hero, okay? And the hero I'm talking about is where you have the Chevrolet, and then you have the images and everything. It's the catchy part. It's called hero. It's called the hero part, okay? It is what causes the eye retention, that like a client always wants to be on your site because of how good it looks like. So in the hero part, we are going to have that Chevrolet kind of header. So I'm going to create a class and call it hero label. Okay. In the hero label, you're going to have the first heading that says Chevrolet. okay, like that. And then you're going to have another heading, and you're going to call it yeah, like that. So we're going to have that, and then you're going to have another div, okay? After you have that, we are going to need to have this particular paragraph over here. So the next thing after this container, I'm going to come down, create a new container for that, and I'm going to call it .hero text. I hope you guys can see how I'm naming my identifiers. I'm not naming them like one, two, I'm naming them with good names so that I understand exactly what I'm doing, okay? So for that, I'm just going to give it a paragraph, and I'm just going to copy this text. I'm not going to type it out. I'm just going to copy what it says over here, and I'm going to just paste it, okay? You're going to have that hero text. And then I think the next point is the image. This particular image and these icons over here, this kind of text over here. So that's what I'm going to do next. So again, after I'm done with the text, I can start another container over here and just call it dot hero image. Okay, I'm just giving them meaningful names so that I know when I'm styling. Okay, the hero image, and then I'm going to have that big image that you saw over there. I'm going to have this image over here. And again, if you want to know where I get my beautiful images, if you want to know where I get them, there's this site called pexels.com. Here you can find a lot of images that you want. You just have to search. So over here I can search like Chevrolet. Okay, just search like that, and it's probably this image. You can take another image that you want. You can download it, but I prefer just copying the image address, okay? So I can just take that, kind of paste it in there, okay? And alternatively, if the image is not found, just say main hero image, okay? So I have that, I have the main image going right there. So I don't know, the next thing, okay, it's supposed to be in a div, because as you see over here, we have the image, then we have this particular stuff over here. They are displayed in a flex from left to right, because normally they'd be displayed from top to bottom, but they're now moving from left to right. So that's why I have to put this image in its own container, okay? So I'm going to say dot hero main, one type today, main image, okay? That's how I'm going to put the image, okay? So I'm going to put the image and save like that. And then we have those text at the other side. So I'm just going to say dot hero image stats. Like, so what I have over there is this stuff, design and everything. I'm just going to list them out. We're just going to use the span, call it design. Okay. I'm going to give it a paragraph saying comfort. I'm going to give it another paragraph. It's called saying safety. Okay. And another one over here saying spaces. Okay. I'm just listing out this stuff. Okay. Okay. Once I have that, I'm done with the image kind of thing. So I'm done with actually, I'm just done. Actually, I'm just done with the hero part. Okay. I'm just done with the hero part because this part is the last part. Okay. So this session is not going to be as huge as last time. So it's not going to be it's not going to take a lot of time. So I hope you guys are able to understand. So once I have that, I think okay, yeah, let's just finish out with the footer before we start styling. So I'm going to move outside this section. Actually, it's not a div. I'm going to say it's a section. Yeah, I think that's a better name for it. So over here, I'm just going to say now I'm going to the footer. You want to give meaningful, the reason I'm giving comments at every point, every time a developer, like another developer comes to my site, he'll be like, oh, this is where he linked his font awesome icons. Oh, wow, this is the point where he linked to his styles. Okay, this is where he started the header section. Okay, it's just easier for me and easier for another developer who comes to check out my code. Okay, so it's good developer practice to do that. So just just do it. So over here, I'm going to have another section. This time I'm going to call it footer, okay? It's like the last part, it's like the foot. And then in my footer, we have this part over here, and then we have these cards on the other side, on the left, it's not it's the other side. So we're going to come over here, and then I'm going to say dot, the left part, okay? There's the left part, and then there's the right part, okay? There's this part, which I'm calling the left part, and then you have the right part over here. So on the left part, it's not even that complicated, okay? We have these headings over here and this kind of beautiful kind of button. So I'm just going to just list them out. We have heading 2, we call it heading 2. It says we are working with which to again 130 plus top class partner, okay, just what it says. So around the world, okay, around the world, like that. So once I have that, now I can take care of this kind of button over here that says explore now. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. So once I have around the world, I can start another div, call it dot footer explore or something. The reason I'm calling that is because it's saying explore. So that's why I'm giving it the footer explore thing. So I'm going to say, I'm going to give it a I'm going to put it like that and just say explore now, okay? And then we have this icon that goes towards the right. So I'm just going to come over here and say, I don't know, right? Yeah, this one. I'm going to click on it, then I'm going to copy its code over here. So I hope you guys are seeing how those paragraphs and those headings, and then how I'm adding icons, and then how I'm doing all this stuff, because this is industry kind of level techniques I'm showing you. This is what you're going to be doing when you're given that job. This is going to be a job almost every day. So once you get good at it, then your life is just easier. So this, I don't think you're going to be taught this in class. So that's why I'm really taking my time on this. So once you have that, we have this. It's this particular part over here, explore now. So I think now we can start listing out these cards and everything on the other. Now I'm going to move to the right side and start putting these cards, the Tesla, Chevrolet, Audi, and all that. So I have that. So I'm going to move on to my right side. Just going to move on to my right side over here. So after this, I'm going to come over here and say right side. I'm going to say uh, dot footer, right? Okay, like right side. So what do I have on my right side? Okay, I've said I have all those kind of cards. So it's a bit complicated. So how I'm going to do it is I'm going to have let me just kind of have that pen again. I'm just going to, so I'm going to have this part over here, okay? I'm going to have this part, and then I'm going to have another part, this kind of part over here, okay? So I'm going to have another kind of left side, and I'm going to have another kind of right side. So I'm going to have, in my right side, I have this first component over here, these cards over here, and then in my second kind of component, I have this part and I have this part, okay? So I'm going to break it down like that. So the reason I'm breaking it down like that, it's kind of complicated. That's why I am kind of trying to break it down so that it's easier to understand. Okay, I'm just going to clear all drawings and then leave it like that. So I just come back here since that now I know what I need to do. I'm going to call my first part, I'm going to call it, you need to give it a good name. So I'm going to say right, one. I'm just going to say right. I'm just going to say maybe something like footer, right one or something. Just give it a good name that you will understand what you're talking about. Okay. So in my right one, okay, I have this Tesla and Audi. Okay. So that's what I'm going to put over here. So I'm going to say dot write item one, okay, or okay, just say dot write one item, okay, or something. I don't know, you can call it whatever you want. So yeah, but what I'm talking about right now is this Tesla. This is what I'm talking about right now. It's the first part, so that's why I'm calling it right one item one. Okay, like I'm talking about the right parts. Okay, I'm talking about this right part over here, the Tesla and Audi. Now I'm talking about the first card. Okay, that's why I'm saying right one item one. Okay, so I'm going to have a heading one that says Tesla. You can just put it in uppercase, Tesla. And then I have a couple of paragraphs. I'm just going to say Lorem 10, just generate some styles like that. I can just have two of them like that. So I have Tesla, and then I have the Audi version over here. So I'm just going to come over here. I'm just going to copy this div because it's just the same thing. I'm just going to paste it like that, but instead of Tesla, I'm going to call it Audi, okay? And now this is not item one, it's item two, okay? I hope you see how I'm naming stuff, meaningful names that I can clearly understand when I'm styling. So after the Audi, we have now this other part that has the Chevrolet and the other card over here. So now I'm going to move outside my right one. I'm going to move now to the left kind of part. So over here, it ends over here. So I'm going to move now to my other side. And I'm going to call it footer right two or something. Remember, I called it here footer right one. So I'm going to say footer right two, okay? It's just good developer experience when you give it meaningful names and you don't have to struggle when you're trying to style. Okay, just like the other cards, actually they're just kind of just the same. So I'm just going to copy what I have over here. Now instead of Audi, we're going to have Chevrolet. So I'm going to come over here. So like that. Just the same paragraphs. Okay, I'm just going to change this to right one. Right two, I guess. It's right two now. Okay. I also get a bit confused with these names, but once I look at them keenly now, I'm able to understand what I'm talking about. So the other one, I'm just going to have it like that. And you're going to have it over here. Just like that. It's just that simple, guys. Just like that. And I think we're done with the whole HTML thing. I think now we can start the whole styling and everything. So this is the whole HTML. This is the whole markup that's generating this, what you're seeing over here, okay? It's the whole HTML that's generating all this stuff, okay? So once I have that, I think we can just kind of now start on the styles. So right now everything looks ugly because if I open this with live server, I'm going to see like all this markup. Actually, even the font is ugly. Everything just doesn't look what you have over here. Actually, also the font, this looks like Times New Roman, okay, and I think this is Poppins or something. So where do I get my icons? You may ask, like where do you get this beautiful icon, these beautiful fonts over here? And not the default HTML. I said there's this beautiful site called Google Fonts, okay? Google Fonts, and I come over here, I pick my fonts over here, okay? Give it a minute, let it load. Okay, why is it saying this stuff? Okay, just don't Google fonts. Google fonts like that. Okay, let me just open with the other kind of. I'm going to come over here and say Google fonts like that. Once I click on it, it's going to take me to a lot of fonts like Chinese fonts and all that. So you can search. You can be able to search like pop-ins and everything. Okay, so over here there's already some fonts I prepared a long time ago. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to link it to my HTML. So over here I'm going to say linking to my fonts. Okay, like handwriting. Fonts ni handwriting. So I'm going to say like that. So now that I'm connected, I can just move on to my CSS, okay? So I can just hide this stuff again. So now I have my HTML and I have my CSS. So I can just kind of split my screen so that I can see my CSS and my HTML together. So now there's my HTML on this side and now there's my CSS on this side. And every time I can be coming back over here to check on my progress. So the first thing I'm going to do is by giving like general styles, like what should be common to everything, okay? And how I do that is this, give it the star icon. Means for everything in my site, I want the margin to be 0, I want the padding to be 0, I want the box, okay, I want the box sizing to be Buddha box, okay? And as I said, CSS is like the Wild West. There's so many ways to achieve the same thing. So the only way to get better is constant practice, okay? The only way to get better is constant practice. Also, before I forget, you're free to ask questions over here. I'll be coming back to check them out and just answer them. So, yeah. So once I have that, I don't want my lists, as you can see, or you can't see them, but okay, I'm just going to show you guys later. So once I have that, I can just start kind of working on my header right now. So when it comes to styling, you also want to kind of break them into modules. You don't want to throw styles everywhere. I want to start with the header, move on to the hero section, then to the footer and all that. So, but then let's first of all take care of this font, because this is font Times New Roman, I guess. This is Times New Roman, and we don't want that. We want the pop-ins kind of stuff. So how do I get that? I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to copy my fonts. You can come back here and kind of prepare your fonts and all that. There's a lot of tutorials on YouTube on how to use Google Fonts, so that's why I'm not diving too much on that. So for my body, the body I'm talking about right now is this one, okay? It is the big container that has everything, okay? So I'm saying everything in the body section. I want you to have the font family of okay, you know what? Since I copied all those styles, I'm just going to paste them like that. Then these are just so many styles, so I can just remain with pop-ins, I guess. Okay, wait, I can just remain with, just play around with it, whatever. You can comment this, put on this. If you don't like this font, you can always delete it and then use this other font over here on top, whatever you want. So once I have that, and when I come back, I can see the font may change. It's not the ugly font I was saying before. So once I have that, now I can start working on my header. Okay, I want it to look like this. Okay, I want it to look like this. So in my styles over here, I'm just going to come here and say for header styles like that. Okay. So for my header styles, I'm going to come over here and say for my header, okay, I'm talking about this class over here, okay? For my header, this style over here, I want you to display flex, okay? I want you to display stuff from left to right. I want the logo here, I want the nav links here, and I want this here. Because by default, I have the logo over here, I have the links over here, it's displaying like a block. So I want it in flex. Say display flex, like that. And then I say justify content, space between, so that they're both sent to different corners. And then once I have that, maybe let's see what I have right now when I do it like that. Yeah, it looks something like this. Now everything is from left to right like that. Okay, so once I have that working for me, as you can see, everything is touching the sides, so we don't want that. So we're going to give it like a kind of padding. So for my padding, like that, I'm going to say 20 pixels by 6 m, okay? Again, these are just units of measurement, and yeah, it looks cool now. We have spacing from the left and we have spacing at the top. Okay, now as you can see, my list, it has this kind of bullets, okay? That's because it is a list. If I said ordered list, it have number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So how do I remove that? I can say for my unordered list, this unordered list, I don't want those bullet stuff. So I can just come here and say for all my lists, okay, I want the list style to be none. When I say list style none, it means that it won't have, you see, all those kind of dots disappear. Again, I apologize for the background noise. So you can see that all of that has disappeared, okay? Now the next thing is probably to ensure that my nav links are displayed from left to right, the way these ones are. So again, you already know by this time how to do it. Okay, but before you even go there, let's talk about this header kind of logo first, okay? Because also mine doesn't look so good. So let's just it's in the header logo over here. So I'm just going to copy that. And it's the heading 1 element, okay? So what do I want to do? I want to ensure that its font size, it's around 20 pixels, FZ20. This is just easier ways to get it done. I want the font weight to be around 900. I want it to be that much bold, okay? I'm going to say cursor pointer, okay? I'm going to say also, I want it to be white in color, okay? I want it to be color white, okay? And then I want the font style to be italic. You know about font style, right? It can be italic, can be normal, all that, okay? So as you can see over here, the background is kind of grayed out and the text is kind of white or something. Well, mine is white. The background color is white, so I have to change that. In my header over here, I have to say for my background color, like that, BGC should say background color. I want the background color to be this color, hashtag 17171. Okay, then that's not even 7. 171717. Something like that, okay? So when I save it like that, I have something like that, okay? So let's talk about this ULs right now. So for my navlink, I think I give it the class of navlink. So I'm going to say the navlinks over here. For my navlinks, target the UL, I guess, right? I want them to display flex from left to right, not top to bottom. So by now, these things you should be knowing because it's what you interact with daily. And a gap of 2M, just spacing, okay? And then for each list item, I want something to happen. So I'm going to say, again, dot that UL li and being as specific as possible. I'm going to say cursor pointer, and I'm going to give it a color of gray. Color gray. Like that. So if I come back, I'm going to come and see that it looks something like this. But then if I come back here, I can see that my first kind of nav link, it's white and it has this caret stuff over here. So definitely that means this part should be unique or something. So to make that work, I'm going to come over here and give this special style. I'm going to come, you guys remember when I talked about inline styling? Like I can come to my paragraph and say, as for you, instead of being gray, I want it to be white, okay? Color white. Okay, the rest can be gray, but I want it to be white, okay? So when I come over here, I can see now it's white, okay? It's not like grayed out like the rest. Let me just switch off this feature. I always forget switching it off before recording. So I have something like that. So let's talk about this special nav thing, okay? It's that kind of the red thing that you're seeing over there. So actually, it's this link that has the ID of, is it? I mean, okay, wait. Okay, I think it's this one, the way you just have it. But then don't remember how. Okay, it's an ID. Don't forget that it's an ID. So instead of starting with the dot, you start with a hashtag, okay? Like that. So to make it red, I guess we have to say, actually, I think that this ID should be at the top, okay? That's what I think. I think this, I can just kind of cut it out. I think this should be here, okay? And then for this div over here, it should have the ID of header, something like that, okay? So for this link, I want it to display this and this to move from left to right, display flex. So I'm going to say display flex, okay? I'm going to say flex direction. I'm going to say row reverse, okay? And again, if everything I'm doing here is kind of Greek to you, that means you're not doing a lot of CSS. That means you're not practicing. So kindly, when I give assignments, go there and practice. Every time I leave, every time I say you need to use W3 Schools, kindly just use W3 School. It is, I think, much more detailed. It gives everything in much more detail than I am right now. So it's really up to you to kind of go out there and just kind of continue learning more, okay? So I want it to be a color of white, okay? So with that, when I put it like that, yeah, you still can't see it. So that dot icon, I need to style it. So I'm going to come over here. Is this ID over here? So I'm going to come over here and it's starting with a hashtag. Why? Because it's an ID, okay? Don't forget that. If you start with the dot sign, it won't know. It will be like, yo, over here you said it's an ID. Why are you starting with the dot sign when you're styling? It should be a hashtag. So it won't work. So once I have that, I want the background color to be red, okay? For that particular div, background color to be red, okay? Then I want the height to be around 3 pixels, okay? I think also the width should be like 5 pixels, okay? I want it to have a radius. I want it to be rounded. If I want it to be rounded, I have to say 50%. Okay. Then I want the padding. Padding is the spacing within to be 4 pixels. So once I do it like that, I think now we should be able to see that. Yeah, now you can see that red stuff over here. So we are progressing fine. So let's talk about this part over here. As you can see, it's not that nice. So let's talk about that part right now. So how I'm going to do it, it's called header cut search, okay? So I'm going to come over here. Again, I need them moving from left to right. So by now, you guys already know that. So I'm going to say display flex, okay? Something like that. Actually, I'm going to target the UL because I want each list item. I want the first list item and the second list item and that list item to move from left to right. So I'm going to be more specific and say UL. And say display flex. I'm going to say justify content space between, and I'm going to give them gaps, space from each other, like 1M, like that. And I'm going to say align items. Remember when I said every time you use flex, it's good practice to say align item center? Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Just good practice to do that so that everything is kind of centered. Something is not going like on top of the other or something. So once I have something like that, it's not clear right now. So I'm just going to change the color to something like white, okay? So I have this list item over here. So it's kind of special because the cat over here also has this car, like the two thing, like the two kind of background red thing over here. So I'm going to give it I'm going to give it a specific identifier. I'm going to say that for you, you're going to be called special cat, okay? Because you're special. So I'm going to call it like that. And then over here, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to give it's an ID. So I'm going to start like that, okay? So for you, I want it to display flex, okay? I want flex direction to be row reverse, okay? And then I want a gap of 1 pixels. So again, you're not going to see what exactly I did. So let me just style this stuff quickly. So it's something like that. So it's that car2 icon thing. So the background color is red, remember? It's red. The text is white. It's also rounded. That's why I'm going to say border radius 50% because I want it to be circular. The padding to be 4 pixels. The font size to be 10 pixels, okay? What else can I do about it? I can say that the height should be around, no, the height should be around 18 pixels, okay? And the width should be around 14 pixels. Again, once I share this code, feel free to play around with it, okay? So I'm just going to say justify content center. You can always remove a line of code and see how it affects the UI and you're like, oh, so this does this, you know? That's how we learn, okay? Align item center. And I'm going to say that I want it to be white in color, yeah? Something like that. So again, for the header cat search, well, I think the text should be white. So I'm going to come say color, okay, white. So when I come over here, it's not that, it's this. Looks something like that, okay? So over here, I think I should have number 2, okay? So that when I come over here, I see the number 2, okay? So let's talk about that separator over there, okay? I called it header divider over here. Okay, so I'm going to have it like that, okay? I'm going to have it like that. And how I'm going to put is I'm going to say the width should be around, wow, the width should be around 2 pixels, okay? It's just, I'm trying to draw out that triangle, that stuff using, just using normal CSS, okay? So kindly bear with me. Background color to be that. I want that to be around 4 pixels, okay? And I want the height to be around 30 pixels. Okay, let's see if it shows up over here. It's that line over there. Okay, it's looking fine. So let me see what else I can do. Let's talk about these pants that have the icons over them. So I'm going to say header cut search target the spans, okay? Because what I want to do is probably increase the font size or something. So I'm going to say font size to be around 24 pixels. I want them bigger, okay? And I want them to be cursor pointer. And I want them to be white. Okay, they're already white, but you can just repeat, doesn't hurt. White, okay? Not wheat, white, okay? So I have it like that. So it looks something like that, okay? I think that's exactly what we have over here, okay? And I don't know if there's any question. Okay, so very quickly, let's deal with this hero section part, okay? Let's see how that is made possible. So right now it looks like this, but you're going to make it look beautiful, okay? So if we talk about the hero side, right now what you're talking about is these parts over here. So actually over here, I can just say I'm starting to style the hero section. Okay, it's a class, it's called hero. So I'm going to just call it over here. And there's a few things I want. I want it to have a padding. I don't want it sticking to the corner. So actually I'm going to give it the same padding I gave the header over here. I'm going to give it the same padding so that they look like they are starting from the same point, okay? If they're different, then it means it don't look uniform and you want uniformity. I want the background color to be the same color I had, the grayed out color, okay? Okay, so and then let's talk about this hero label thing. Okay, so how is that done? So over here I'm going to say dot hero label like that. So how is that done? Okay, I want it to display flex. I want the Chevrolet and this other text to display from left to right because right now they are moving from top to bottom. I want them to move I want them to be in the same line. So I'll have that. So I'm going to say display flex. Okay. Again, once I say display flex, it's good to just say AIC center. Okay. Align items center. Okay, a gap of 1M. Okay, gap of 1M. And then I'm going to have a font size. I want them to be huge, okay? I want them to be huge. So I'm going to say 4M, okay? I want them to be so huge, okay? And then I'm going to say text align center so that they show up at the center of the screen, like here at the center of the screen. I'm going to say text align center, justify content center. Again, I want them to show up at the center of the screen. I want them to have a padding of I can say a padding of like 10 pixels by 30 pixels. And yeah, I think that's good. I think the color should be white, okay? Color should be white. Yeah, something like that. So let's see what I just did over there. Yeah, it looks something like this. So this one has some special styles. The background color should be red. So let's see what you can do about that. So that means I have to give it some sort of ID or something. I'm going to give it an ID and I'm going to call it hero label, okay? Special, okay? Just special because it has that, it's not like the first one, okay? So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, wow, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, just that background color. So I'm going to say BGC should be red. Okay. Once I have that, I'm going to say color white. Okay. I'm going to say color white, something like that. And then I'm going to say, and then you can see it sort of has these kind of, okay, it looks like this border radius looks, it is sort of unique, okay? Sort of unique. So how did I achieve that? By just tweaking the border radius, okay? So I can say border top, okay? At the top part, go to the right part and I want you to change its radius, okay? From to around 20 pixels, okay? So once you do that, I want you to go to the other side, go to the bottom instead of going to the top, okay? So again, you're always given like complicated UIs to develop. So you have to be quite creative on how you be able to navigate stuff. So yeah. So once I have that, I want the padding to be like 6 pixels, okay? Something like that. So let's see what it looks like right now. If I come back over here, something is not working. Something is not working. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ha. Stupid mistake. Rookie mistake. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So if I come over here, yeah, now it looks kind of similar now. Looks kind of similar. So okay, let's talk about this text over here. Okay. Uh, let's talk about that text over there. So it's this hero text. Okay. I'm just going to copy it over here. it's a class, it's a dot, okay? So the hero text, it's going to have a very grayed out color, special color. So I'm going to say, I want it to have a color of, there's this form of coloring called RGB. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, probably utapitia section ya colors in CSS. So you need to go over there and see how you can just use normal English. We're just saying color or something, or you can use the hashtag this over here, but then you can just say white or anything. But then there's this other form over here. I just want to show you guys everything. So yeah, so you have that, and I want the text align to be center. I want it to show up at the center of the screen. Okay. And I want it to have spacing from the top. So I'm going to say margin top of around 1 em. Okay. So when I make it look like that, then it looks something like that. Okay. Now this image and this text should be flexed so that they are moving from left to right. Okay. So what did I call it? I called it hero image. So what do I do with that? So over here, I'm going to say display flex, okay? Display flex, flex wrap, so that if they can't fit together at the same line, one element is pushed at the bottom, so they don't have to squeeze or anything, okay? And I'm going to say justify content, space evenly. Now, instead of saying space between like I always do, I'm going to say space evenly. And again, if all of this sounds like something out of this one, that means you have not checked out layouts in W3 school. So just go out there and check out Flex, and all of this stuff will make sense. So I'm going to say again, margin top, so that it has spacing from that text. I'm going to give it like 3 em, okay? Once I have that, now I have it looking like this, okay? Have it looking like this. This is where my text is. So it doesn't look good. So again, I have to put more text. Okay. So I'm going to say dot hero image. Okay. And then I want to target the image itself. Okay. What do I want to do with the image? On the radius to be around 20 pixels. Okay. I want it to be rounded. At the edges, I want the height to be around 600 pixels. I don't want it to be so huge. And okay, for the width, I want it at 100 instead of pixels. Percent, okay? I want it to change. When the screen changes, I want it to change with the screen, okay? And so, yeah, once I have the image like that, let's talk about these stats over here. Okay, once I have them like that, I'm going to say margin top, okay, to be around 18 pixels. So why am I saying like that? Because right now, zimeshikana, okay, zimeshikana. So I need them to have spacing. So once I save it, you're going to see what happens. Oh, something should have happened. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about this span over here. It should be white in color, okay? So I'm going to say dot hero image stats. I don't know, I can just call it span. Actually, just call it span. And the color is just white, okay? But everything else is kind of grayed out, okay? It has that color it has the same color like this, okay? So I'm just going to say the hero image stats for each paragraph. I want it to have the same color as this. Where is it? I want it to have the same color like this, okay? You need to have uniform colors. Actually, you should just play around with like a maximum of 4 colors. Because if you go above 4 colors, then people are like, this just looks too much, too complicated for users. So I'm going to have a margin top of around 80 pixels, okay? And I'm going to have a margin bottom of 10 pixels, okay? I'm going to have cursor pointer. So if I save it like that, then I'm going to have something like that, okay? The spacing over here is like 80 pixels, okay? Good. So that's why you have the image, looks something like that. Okay, so okay, wait, yeah, it's the same thing. They look so similar. Okay, they look so similar. I was almost getting lost. So actually with that, you're even done with this kind of hero part. Now you can start working on the footer. So it doesn't look good. Of course, it doesn't look good. So I need to do something about it. So what do I do about it? So as you can see over here, we have this part, and then you have the right part. So again, as you know, I have just to say display flex. Instead of them moving from top to bottom, I want them to move from left to right. So I just say display flex. By now, I think I've said that. So over here, when it comes to my styles, over here, just going to say a new section and say footer styles, okay? So once I have that, I'm going to say dot footer itself, okay? So what do I want? I want it to have the same padding like before, like with the others, but I want it first of all to display flex. Say flex wrap. Yeah, if they can't fit on the same line, just push to the next line, okay? So padding, same padding with all the other elements so that they start at the same place. 20 pixels by 6 m, okay? 6 m. So and then the background color, this the same old background color you've been using from the actually there's a way I can put them as variables so that I don't have to put them don't have to list them every time. I can just put them as variables. But again, probably at this point don't yeah, I'm not sure you guys okay, if you know about variables, that's good. But I think that's a concept also to cover next week, so there's no need to rush. So align items center, okay? So we have the footer going on like that. So that's now we have this, you're displaying them from left to right, okay? So I have that working for me. So I think now I can start talking about the left part and I can start talking about the right part, okay? So the left part occupies the bigger space, I guess. Okay, they're kind of similar, I don't know. But we'll see. So let's just talk about the left part. Let's talk about the heading tools, okay? I want them to be white in color and all that. So over here, I'm going to say for actually, I can just come over here, copy it like that, have it like that, and talk to my H2 and tell it, I want you to be white in color, okay? I want you to be white in color. I want you to be much bolder than you are right now. So I want you to be bolder, okay? I want you to be bigger and just, all that. I want you to be much larger than you are. So I want you to be having like a 2M thing. So now it looks something like that, okay? Good. Let's talk about the Explore Now button, okay? It's called this. Oh my goodness, what did I do? I'm just going to start it again. Visual Studio Code. Yeah. So it's called this. So I'm just going to come over here and I'm just going to come over here. And then the background color is red, okay? Background color is red. Again, once you do this, like once you practice a lot on this, it just becomes kind of natural for you. So it just like right now, I just feel like I'm just communicating to the computer. I want you to change this color. I want you to change this background color. I want you to do this and do this. But if you don't know how it's done, if you don't know how to instruct the machine, then it's difficult. You need to know how to instruct the machine to do specific tasks. Okay. So margin top should be around 2M. Okay. I want it to have spacing, and I want it to have a width of around 50%. Okay. 50% like that. Okay, let's talk about the padding. Okay, so the padding should be around 15 pixels. As I said, once I share this code, feel free to look around with it. Okay, I want you to have a cursor pointer. Okay. I want it, every time somebody hovers on you, I want you to have a cursor pointer. I want your border radius to be rounded, so I'm going to say 10 pixels. So once I save it like that, then okay, what did I do? Yeah, I have it like that. So why isn't the background color red? Okay, it's good that there's an error right now so that you can solve together. I think I need to restart my server. Yeah, I need to restart my server. It's okay. I need to restart my server. So I'm going to just say open with live server again. Yeah, so yeah, now it works. It works. I was like, what's happening? I thought it should work, but now it's working. So once I have that going for me, now I think I can start talking about the right side. Okay. I have that working for me and it looks nice. Okay, it looks nice. So yeah, I can start working on the rest. So over here, bear with me guys, you're almost finishing, okay? You're almost finishing. And at the end, I'm going to show you other cool stuff like deploying. How are you going to share this code? How are you going to post it on a server so that your friends can see it and be like, wow, you're doing a good job, okay? So I'm going to be showing you guys right at the end. So kindly bear with me. So let's talk about the right side, okay? The right side. So I want you to occupy 50% of the screen, okay? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling it right now. Occupy 50% of the screen, okay? And I want your cards to display flex, okay? I want you to justify content, space evenly, there's space around, there's space between, and then there's space evenly. So once I share this code, you can play around with this and see the impact it has on the screen. So, and then maybe space between is better for you or something. So it's really up to you to kind of follow it up. So let's talk about the right one part. You remember the Tesla and everything? Okay, I hope you guys remember. It's this part over here. It's this part, the Tesla Audi part, okay? That's what I'm trying to style over here. Okay, so once I have it like that, I'm going to say the footer right one part, okay? There's a few things I want you to do, okay? I want you to display flex, okay? And once you do that, I want you to display in a column, okay? So I can say flex, direction, column, okay? Instead of a row, this time to be column from top to bottom, okay? Gap 1M, okay? And I don't know, have a flex of 50% of your domain. And then I want to have a margin top, okay, spacing from the top to be 1.5 mm. You can use centimeters or whatever works for you, okay? So again, feel free to play around with this code once I share it. So let's talk about this Tesla item over here. It's special actually because it has special styles. The background color is red, okay? The background color is red. The text is white, so also I'm going to say color white, not wheat, white. And I want you to have some padding inside. I want you to have a padding of 1M by 1.3 M, okay? 1M top to bottom. And then I'm going to say text align center, okay? And then the radius, like the corners, I want them to be rounded. I'm going to say something like 8 pixels. So let's see how that works. So I have something like this, okay? Let's deal with the others so that this doesn't look that ugly, okay? Actually, I can just remove this for now so that it looks better, okay? Yeah, it looks much better now. Okay, once I have that, I can talk about the heading one, this Tesla heading one over here. So I can see what to do about it. So I can say target the heading one, okay? The heading one. Okay, I'm trying to talk about this Tesla heading over here. I want it to look in a certain way. I want it to have a margin bottom of 1M, okay? I want it to have a font weight of 900, okay? There is 100, there's 200, there's 300. Feel free to just play around with it and see how it works, okay? And I want it to be italic. So I'm going to say, how do I say I want it to be italic? Say font style, italic, okay? Something like that. And now it should look better, okay? Should look better, yeah. Let's talk about this Audi part, okay? Let's see how we can make it look good. So for this guy over here, I'm just going to put it down like that. For that guy, okay, I'm going to say a flex of 0.5 also. And I'm going to say, what can I say about it? Okay, write one item two. So I think, I don't know, I can just say maybe the text to be white, okay? Not, we can just say color white, okay? Maybe I keep typing white, color white, something like that. And then I can say, it's just the same thing over here actually, padding and everything. Just the same thing, just that the background color is not red, okay? Just the same thing. So actually, also even the heading is the same. The Audi heading should be the same. So with the Tesla one, so I'm just going to copy that, the Tesla, and just I'm going to come and change to, give it a minute. I'm going to come here and change this so that the Tesla styles and the Audi styles, the headings are the same. So if I come over here, I'm going to see it looks kind of the same. So I think last thing I need to do is to ensure that I have this border over here. If you come over here, you can see that this border, this white kind of border like that, but then I don't have mine over here. So what do? I need to come over here and say, I actually want you to have a border like that. I need it to be 1 pixel. It can be like 20 pixels or whatever. Feel free to play around with it. 1 pixel solid. Instead of dotted, you can say dotted. Hashtag CCC, just a color, okay? A grayed out color. So it will look something like that, yeah. So this Audi and Chevrolet and all this will be the same. So I'm just kind of going to be copying a lot of styles. So this other part over here, right, to item 2 over here, I'm just going to paste it like that. It's just going to almost have the same styles as this one, okay? There's a lot of similarities. So I'm going to do over here. And once I paste it like that, then voila, they both have, that. Okay, so I think I should probably style this also. Like to item 1, okay, something like that. And actually this should be item 1. That's what I'm trying to style. So, but then for this, it's main parent, okay? Again, as I said, this is my way of styling, okay? The more you do CSS, the more you do CSS, the better you become. I feel like you use too many divs and that will take me some time to grasp. Yeah, I understand. The reason why I use a lot of divs is kind of containerization, just to show you guys how I am kind of laying out everything. If you're able to achieve the same result using less containers, then it's okay, it works, okay? So actually, the reason I use, if I was coding by myself, I wouldn't necessarily need to use a lot of divs. But since I am trying to explain everything, I'm trying to show you why this is displayed flex and everything. That's why I have the need to put them into containers that everybody understands. But yes, it is possible to use less divs. Anyway, so I'm going to have display flex. I want this div and this div to be flexed, okay? But instead of the normal moving from left to right, I want it to move from top to bottom, okay? So how do I do that? I say flex direction to be column, okay? By default, it's row, I want it to be column, okay? Something like that. Actually, I want it to have a flex of 0.5, something like that. So once I have that, I'm going to have a gap also of around 1 m. Yeah, a gap of 1 m like that. So I've already styled this one. So let's talk about its H1. It doesn't look so good. So I do item 1. It doesn't look so good. So I'm going to come over here and target the heading 1, okay? The Chevrolet heading. And it's just going to have the same styles, okay? Just going to have the same styles with the other kind of headings. So I'm just going to come over here, take this and paste it like that. So let's see what that did. Yeah, it looks something like that. And let's talk about this last one. Okay, we are almost done actually. Just the last things we're making sure they look good. So I'm going to come over here, and it just actually has the same styles, just the same exact styles. So I'm just going to come over here, make sure I copy the right thing. Again, as a developer, you want to do reusability. You don't want to be typing everything from scratch. So once I put it like that, now you can see they look kind of similar. But let's talk about this heading, okay? So I'm going to take it like that. For my H1, I'm just going to have the same styles like all the rest, okay? Again, at some point you have already done that thing. You don't have to start typing it again. You can just copy that code. Okay, so once I have it like that, I can say footer right 1. I'm supposed to give it flex 0.5. So that now everything looks something like this. Okay, it looks good, actually. Some minor differences, which we can tweak here and about. So we have the right side and you have the left side, okay? So I can say the footer, do you remember there was the left side, okay? And then there's the right side. So the footer left, I'm just doing like final touches to ensure that everything just looks good, okay? We're already done with the majority of coding, so yeah, now it looks much better. These ones are not like constrained. So this one takes half the screen, the right side takes half the screen. That's how it's supposed to be. Okay, so once I have it looking like that, actually I'm just done with the whole styles. Now, the next thing is probably to ensure that it looks good on a mobile screen, I guess. So once I inspect, of course, it will look a bit weird. It looks ugly on a mobile device, okay? So this is where now I'm going to start talking about media queries. How do you ensure that your website looks good on a mobile phone? So right now I'm looking at it on a Samsung Galaxy S8. If I switch to iPhone 12 Pro, still looks very ugly. Okay, so how do I ensure it looks good? There's something called media queries. So in iPhone 12 Pro, I can see the width is 390. Actually, most of these fonts, they're around 414. Pixel 5 is 393 over here. Samsung Galaxy 360. So if I start hitting it at around 500, there's a high chance I'll be targeting all of these ones because they are below the 500. So how do I do that? So I'm going to say over here, I'm going to come over here and say media queries. I'm going to say media queries. I'm using media queries to ensure that my screen looks good in all kind of devices. So I'm going to say, so the first thing that looks really bad, okay, the first thing that looks really bad is the heading. Of course, it looks bad. So I want actually to get rid of this UL. I actually want to get rid of this UL. You can create a hamburger menu. I'm not going to be diving into that today. You can create a hamburger menu where if somebody clicks on an icon, all this navigation shows up. I'm not going to be diving into that, but I'm going to share a particular resource that does that today or tomorrow. So you're not going to, yeah. So it's called header nav link. I don't want it to show up on a mobile screen. So I'm going to say when my app loads on a screen that is that is that is 500 pixels and below. Okay, this is what I mean. When my app, my website, loads on a mobile device or on a screen that has 500 pixels and below. Okay, as I said, this is 414 pixels. Okay, iPhone 12 Pro is 390 pixels and Samsung Galaxy is 360 pixels. So when I say 500 pixels, it's fair to say that I'm targeting a lot of screens. So actually at 700, so that everything below 700 has these styles. So what styles do I want to happen when my screen is below 700 pixels? Well, to start with, I don't want the nav links to show, okay? So how do I say that? I say display none, okay? Remember there's display flex and all that, but this time I want it to display none. So at this point, as you can see, okay, so what happened? Say display none, but it's still showing. Oh, it doesn't show up. Yeah, it's already gone. But then there's this crazy padding over here, okay? This crazy padding. It's huge, so I have to kind of uh, relieve it a bit. So I'm sure it's on the header where we give the padding of, I don't know, 6M. So we have to reduce that padding because we don't have that much spacing on a mobile screen. So instead of the 6M, I can say 20 pixels by 10 pixels. Now I think it should look good. Yeah, it looks good now, the heading. Now, my hero section, this Chevrolet, looks, it's so huge. So I need to do something about it. So for the hero side, actually the hero also had that crazy padding, okay? Like 6M, so we need to reduce it, okay? Because we don't have that much space on a mobile screen, okay? So we don't have that much space. So again, this heading is just so huge. I guess it was around 4M font size, so we need to find a way to reduce it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So okay, so what did I call it? I call it, it's in the hero side. Yeah, this heading. So I need to do something about that. So I can say for my hero label, okay, don't be that huge, okay? I know right now you're huge, but on a mobile screen, you don't have that much space. So instead of being like 6M, I want it to be like 1M, okay? Again, if 1M was too big for my screen, I'd even go lower. So when I say 1M now, it looks a bit smaller, okay? Again, there's still a bit of issues, but you're going to fix them. Looks much better right now. So is that. Also for the padding, also had that crazy padding. So I can say for the padding to be around 10 pixels by 20 pixels, okay? Yeah, so I think that's good. That's for the hero label. And the text looks good because it doesn't look like looks like it's adjusting it by itself. So let's see about what does it look like there. Yeah, it still looks a bit weird. So the image does not look to be that bad. Okay, maybe it looks a bit weird. So let's see how we can make it look better on a mobile screen. So it's here on the hero main image, okay? Over here. So as you see, I'm trying to see what looks bad on a mobile screen, and then I change it. So for example, my paragraph did not look that bad on a mobile screen. So I didn't have any need to change it. But my image looks weird. That's why I'm going back to it and I'm changing. Remember my image had like 600 by I don't know what size. I don't know. I think at this point I should probably change it. Or actually, before the object, it was covered. It was contained. So this time I can say cover. Okay, something like that. I'm just tweaking stuff to ensure that they look good. Okay. And then for my footer, it looks really bad. Okay, it looks really bad. Looks it looks like things are breaking and they're not working at all. So I need to find a way to make it work. So I know I'm displaying flex from left to right. So instead of doing that, I can just display block. Okay. Instead of displaying from left to right, I can just display block so that things have their own space. Because when I say flex, zinangangana work on one line. So how do I do that? I can say, well, for the footer, and remember also the footer had that crazy padding like 6M, right? We don't have that much space, so I have to reduce it to like 20. Actually, what I just have here, okay, for uniformity. Yeah, we have it like that. Then we save it like that. And then instead of flex, we say display block. So let's see what that did. Yeah, looks kind of, yeah, it's not that bad. But then these cards also zinakaa like they're squeezing themselves. So not be that bad if each card had its own kind of line. So I can say for it was the right side, so I can say dot footer right. So my cards are, instead of displaying flex like normally, I can say since you don't have a lot of space, just display block from top to bottom, okay? And boom, they look like that. So they're not struggling, they're just okay. And you can see now everything looks good on this iPhone 12 Pro. If I go to Samsung Galaxy, everything looks even much more better, okay? Things are not squeezing, things look just good, okay? If I go to all these screens, okay, things look good. So with that said, I think we are done with the coding part. We are done with the coding part. So yeah, we are done with that. The next thing we're going to be pushing this to GitHub, okay? Quick water break. So we're going to be pushing this to GitHub. So I hope you guys have a GitHub account, okay? And why do we push stuff to GitHub, okay? Close saved. Why do we push stuff to GitHub? Well, apart from having a nice portfolio, I guess, it really helps because I remember one time I was doing my school project when I was doing my diploma and my laptop crashed like a week before my presentation and all my code was in my laptop. So you can imagine your teleporter. So it was that painful. So uh when you back up your stuff in GitHub, that means wherever you are, you're able to see your code, okay? So apart from that, it helps you collaborate with others because I can push this code, you can clone it on your side, add stuff, push it again, and then I'll see your changes. I'll add even more changes, and you can build like really massive projects together, even if you don't, if even if you're not in the same geographical location. So that's why GitHub is important. So to push this stuff to GitHub, we need the terminal. So over here at the top, I'm going to say terminal, create a new terminal over here, and then we're going to have our terminal over here. So for you to push stuff to GitHub, you need to have Git installed. So if I say git hyphen hyphen version, I should see my Git version. If it says it doesn't understand or something, okay, can't see that. But then if it generates an error, then you probably have not installed Git. You need to come back to your browser over here and go search for Git, okay? And then you click on the first link and then come to downloads, okay? And then you download for your operating system, like your Mac OS, Windows, or Unix distribution, whatever your operating system is. It's just straightforward. All you have to do is agree to their terms and all that, choose a download location and all that. So once you have Git and it's there, so you can say Git initialize, okay? Git init. Actually, I remember I sent you a recording of somebody who was really going in depth about Git and GitHub. So I really hope you went through that, because if you did, now it's really easy to follow me along. So I'm going to say git init. Now, when I say that, it's going to check all my code and be like, now I'm tracking what you're doing. Then I'm going to say track everything, every folder, track my HTML, track my CSS, track everything. So once I have that, I'm going to give it a commit message, and I'm going to say my awesome past project or something. Just a commit message, okay? My awesome first project. So once I have that working, I'm just going to press enter. So now now it's checking and it's tracking everything. Now we need the website where you're going to push our code to. So that is GitHub in our case. So I'm going to come back here, and you need to navigate to GitHub again. And I was going to push me in. This is my GitHub account, guys, so feel free to follow and all that. So just going to create a new repository over here, okay? This is all my projects. I think I have like 30 or something. Yeah, I am constantly pushing stuff so that, I'm up to date and everything. So I'm going to create a new one for today, and I'm going to say Saturday Insta, I don't know, give it a name that you remember, and you're going to say a cool landing page for, I don't know, what can you give? Okay, for vehicles or something. Just give it a whatever description you want and just click create repository. You can add a README file if you want people to know more about your app. You can set it to public or private. So once you do that, you're going to take you here. Now, this is the link in which you're going to connect our app to. So I'm going to click on this copy icon over here. I'm going to click on it, and then everything is copied to the clipboard. So I'm just going to connect to push my code there. So I'm going to say git remote add origin, okay? And then I'm going to paste that link that I've copied, and now it's already done. So if I say git remote -v, I can see that yes, my app is connected. So then the next thing I just have to do is to push my code. Git push -new, meaning upstream, git push -new origin master. And it's working its magic, it's done. So if it's that quick, so if I come here and refresh, voila, my HTML is here, my CSS is here. If I click on my HTML, I can see everything I did today. Okay, I can see everything. So this is the code I'm going to share with you guys so that you guys see what we did and what we covered today. I can come back, see my CSS. This is all my CSS, okay? It's all here, my media queries, everything. So this is the code I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So if you want to share your code with me, once at this point, you're going to take your URL at the top, you're going to say, copy it, and you send it to me, okay? You make sure you have navigated into your project, Saturday Car Insta, and then you copy your URL, and then you just send it to me. Okay. So let's see how we can push our code. Let's see how we can, I don't know, we can ensure. Okay, I want to show you guys another concept. It's called hosting. Okay, so hosting is the process in which right now only I can run this app. Okay, it's local to my machine. Okay, it's local to my machine. So how do I ensure that everybody anywhere in the world can see this? Yes, there's a question. Please ask. Please ask the question, Daniel. Okay, so we've just I hope you have understood how you pushed our code to GitHub, right? Okay, so probably looking at your GitHub, you'll have you'll be like this. Utakuja hapa, this is your portfolio. So you remember what you called your app here when you're creating a new repository. I called it Saturday Ka Insta, sindio? Over here, okay? You click on it. You remember you have a lot of projects over here, or me, I have a lot of projects. So probably just click on the project, on your projects that you created, that you pushed your code to, okay? Something happened, give it a minute. Now, wow, I have it like that. So I have my HTML and I have my CSS over here. Can you see that? Now I can see my code over here, right? My HTML and my CSS. Once you can see your project, you see here at the top, unaona Maluna, you click over here and you share your code. Hapa juu. Here at the top. Yeah, you can take that, or alternatively, you can come here, click on code, and then you see this link over here. You copy it to your clipboard, okay? And then you just share it to me. You just copy and you paste it on my WhatsApp or something, okay? And once you do that, I can be able to see your code. I can be able to come here, check what you did, leave a few comments and all that, okay? Okay, so once that is done, the next thing I want to show you guys is hosting, because hosting is good because right now, as I'm saying, only I can see this app. You can't see this app, okay? You can see because I'm sharing my screen, but I can't share with you this link on top here and then you're able to see, unless you're in the same network. So what if I wanted somebody in UK or Canada or Australia to see my project? Well, there's something called hosting, okay? And I'm going to show you a really easy hosting site called Netlify, okay? So how you do that, I'm just going to close down everything so that everything is not complicated right now. So this is my project over here, okay? This is my project. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move to my new browser where my code is. This is my code. And then I'm going to go to this beautiful site called Netlify, okay? Netlify.com. You probably need to sign up. They won't ask for credit cards and everything, just ask for your email and all that stuff. But then once you create an account, you'll be directed to this page. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. You'll be directed to this page over here. So I have a lot of projects already I've hosted, but for you, you'll need to come over here and say add new site, okay? You need to come over here and say add new site and click on it. And then you're going to say deploy manually. Deploy manually. You click on it like that. So it's going to ask you to drag and drop your app over here. So where is our app? Our app is on Web Fusion over here. It's called Ka Insta. So hawa wanatuambia we can take our project and we can drag and drop it here and they will deploy it for us. That simple. You take your project, which is called Ka Insta, over here. You drag and drop it. The one that has you remember our Ka Insta has our HTML and our CSS, okay? So you take it, you drag, okay, you take it and you drag and drop it over there. And you give it a minute or something, it's then just going to upload. Give it a minute. We are hosting this site now so that you can share it with your friends, with your family, so that, and just like that, it's deployed. So once if I click on this link right now, my app is live. And to prove it to you, I mean, to prove it to you, I can just share this URL kind of later, okay? So yeah, guys, this has been fun. So I hope you guys understood all of this stuff. So this is how we deployed. You can now share this URL to everybody else. So with that, I think we can terminate the session. Thank you.